Hello and welcome to Phoenix Breathwork Stories. We are live here on Monday evening and we have a wonderful guest joining us today. Whilst we wait for her to come in, I will just share, if you haven't seen the post already, we have the wonderful Sarah Jons joining us. Now I've known Sarah actually since, well, for as long as I've been doing breathwork. We connected as soon as I returned to the UK after Brazil, and I have worked a lot with Sarah over the years, supporting her with her trainings and workshops. So I'm really excited to have her on. Oh, I can see that she's joined. So just coming in, Sarah. I think you just have to request to join video, and then I can accept. So well, just while Sarah joins us, I would love to say that Sarah is also the co-founder of the Big Breath Company. So I'm sure she's going to tell us more about that. But they, Big Breath Company, run some incredible trainings for transformational breath, seminars, all the way through to practitioner training. And I'm sure she's going to tell us all about it. Here she comes. I always cross my fingers at this bit to make sure it works. Is it gonna come? There she is.
Hello.
Hello,
Can you hear
Sarah.
me?
I can hear you perfectly. And
Can you hear me?
yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Hello, Sarah. Right, I'm on twice, so just give me a minute. And I've got
Oh,
noisy dogs in the background, so I'm just trying to.
take your time. Get yourself sorted. This is why live Instas are great. You just take a minute, and we don't mind the dogs. I love hearing your dogs around.
I'm in twice. Sorry. And
That's okay. But
okay.
I can only see you and hear you once. Do you need to leave from another device?
Just squeaking their pigs.
What is that? Your dogs? Oh, I can hear them now.
Right.
Oh, bless you. This is fine.
I'm back.
Well,
I'm back. I've just
so you
thrown the
were.
dogs out of the room. Okay, I think I'll go on this one because I think I can hear you better here.
Okay, that's fine. Because we
Right,
can
I'm in
see you.
twice,
Okay, so
so I'm
do
gonna.
I need to accept the other one then? Here we go. We're going to try this again. This is why we love live Instagrams. We haven't lost her. We're just switching devices. So come on back in, Sarah. I think I've given you permission. Yeah. Oh, are we doing this? Oh, you're sideways. You're a little bit sideways. No, the other way. You're upside down.
What is going on?
Right. No. You've gone too far, Sarah. You need to go back one. Yeah. You're still sideways. Now you're upside down. No, you're sideways. Can you rotate it to your left? No, to your right. No, you need to rotate it again. You're 180 degrees now.
Okay, this is not working for me.
Sarah, is it because you need to? Is it on an iPad?
Yes.
So can you just stand it on? Like, do you literally just need to turn it 45 degrees the other way? If you can turn it the other way, that would be great.
I'm turning it all the way round.
No, stop.
That's it, yeah?
Yeah.
Ah, okay. So for me, that's sideways, but never mind.
Ah, strange.
Yes. So I'm looking at us both sideways. Let me find the perfect angle. Brilliant. Okay.
Are you there? Are you good?
Yeah. So the most important thing is, can you hear me?
Can hear you and see you perfectly now. You're
Beautiful.
upright. You're not upside down. This is perfect. Is there a delay?
Okay, so there is a slight delay. Right, well, I'm here. And thank you so much, Jessie, for inviting me. Sorry about the technical hitch, first time in gosh knows years I've probably done a Facebook live. So thank you very much for inviting me.
You're so welcome, and thank you, Sarah, for giving us your time. So, and don't worry about these technical glitches. It's only because I like my first lives, and even when I did it again the first time this year, I couldn't even figure it out. So this is real life. This is real life. So, thank you for giving us your time. As you were joining, I was just sharing with everyone that you have been practicing breathwork longer than I have because you were one of the first people I reconnected with when I returned to the UK after I did my seminar in Brazil, and was supporting you at your workshops with Elif and now your trainings as well that you're running. So, the idea of this live and this breathwork series that I'm doing is to really highlight people's journey with breath work and the power of the breath and why it's so powerful, and just hear how it's impacted everyone in their own unique way, but in particular breath workers, because
Mm,
this is what you do full time. This is your passion, this is your
mm,
joy, and it's hearing your story with breath work.
mm,
Or I was thinking about this when I asked you to join. It's like I don't think I've had a full conversation with you about how you first embarked on breath work and where you first discovered it and what led you to do all the training. So would love you to share that with us today. And it's just going to be a bit of an informal chat, so we'll just see how it flows. I'm just going to hand over to you
okay,
and just
so yeah.
invite you to share whatever you would like to share with us about your journey with breath.
Okay, so kind of, I guess this really goes back 20, 25 years ago when I kind of had a combination of not just one horrible year, but two or three together. And my life was falling apart, really. And my relationship broke up. I was having difficulties in my career at work. And I'd had a very difficult pregnancy, and I'd lost a baby, and I kind of hadn't realised the impact of that, and because I'd gone back to work and kind of had very little time off. Just to go back, actually, I'd had a twin pregnancy, and I'd lost one of the babies. She was born stillborn, and my partner at that time wasn't very supportive, so it was very kind of it was very difficult. And I kind of started a path which took me a few years later to the doorstep of a counsellor, and I think a lot of people start with that, really. And it was kind of life changing, just that 2 hour conversation with someone to reflect back to me that actually that things for me in my life had been kind of had come to a head, that I was I mean, the words back there, they didn't talk very much about trauma or anything like that, but she I think she fed back to me, I remember after the conversation, that that she felt that I needed a break, and how did I feel about going to have a 2 week break in a mental hospital. That's the words that she used back to me, and I was quite
Oh,
shocked,
wow.
and kind of tucked that away. And I thought, for me, it was really important that somebody had listened to me and kind of validated that all this stuff that was happening to me in my body kind of was to get that validation. I started antidepressants with the doctors, and I slowly started to build my life back. But I kind of never really, kind of came back to normal. And so what actually happened then is I felt that I need to start my own self-healing journey. And that was what really took me to work and to study as a hypnotherapist. So that was kind of my first venture into kind of this self-healing modality. Are my eyes in the right place? Because I'm not sure which mirror.
Well, yeah, you're looking in the right place now. I'd just say, like, yeah, we could only see the top half of your head at one point, but that's perfect. I can see all of your head now.
Okay,
But that, I mean, yeah, that's perfect.
that's
So,
perfect. Okay, yeah.
yeah, or even a little bit further away, just whatever's comfortable for you, as long as we can hear you and see your face. Yeah, that's perfect, Sarah.
Okay.
But before you move on from that, I just want to acknowledge, like, firstly, thank you for sharing what you went through, because that is, you say the word trauma wasn't used much at that
Yeah.
time, but a traumatic experience
Yeah.
to lose a child at stillbirth and not have that support, and when you finally reach out for support to be told, you need to go to a mental hospital, and it's like, how do you start to process that? So I just want to thank you for sharing that, and what you went through at that time. Just acknowledge it's
Yeah.
huge.
Yeah, it was. I guess it was validation. I mean, this was 25 years ago. It was
Mm,
very the support out there, the psychological support. It just wasn't available, and it wasn't really talked about very much. Everybody dealt with their own issues privately or with their friends. And what really had triggered it with me is kind of I just wasn't fully there in life, and I think I'd gone through driven through a red light, kind of just being a bit, when we say we checked out, we're not fully present. And I wasn't
yeah.
really paying attention, and I had my children in the car at the back. Luckily, everyone was fine, but I had one of those moments. Oh my God, we could have all, we could have all died, in that moment. And that was the thing that actually started me. I thought, oh, I need to get some help here. Something's not right. And yeah, it was, and she was a wonderful lady. The counsellor I saw, and I kept in contact with her for many years. And one of the things that came to me is 2 or 3 years later, she had actually quit being a counsellor because she felt that she'd been overwhelmed and overburdened within the industry, and she basically burnt out.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so kind of that was like, oh, something's going on here in this world of therapy. So I went
Mm,
to study a cognitive hypnotherapy with the Quest Institute, and absolutely brilliant. It was life changing. It really was, and it really helped me to realise that actually, when it comes to healing, that we all need to take some form of self responsibility. And it's the medication and the support is all wonderful, but then there is an element that we need to kind of work on ourselves to fix ourselves. And that's then what brought me eventually into breath work, because one of the things I noticed once I started working with clients and qualified is the way their breath was, the way they were breathing within the sessions, and the
okay.
way that when they were talking about a problem, how the breath was this unconscious signal that just kept repeating, coming out within the sessions. And so I got very drawn to working with the body, and very drawn to working and trying to understand more about breath and its
Mm,
relevance. And yeah, so kind of there was just something there. In hypnotherapy, they use the term unconscious signal. And that's
mhm.
what the breath is. It's an unconscious signal. It's a message from the unconscious, and it's communicating with us all the time. And so we know this is true because if someone's having a panic attack, what's happening is the breath
Yeah,
is kind of up here, isn't it? It's in the chest.
absolutely.
And so we can hear it. We can hear fear as well in the breath. If
Mm,
you go to the cinema and you're watching a scary movie, you can hear that shake, can't you? That tremor of fear
yeah.
in the breath. There's so much information in breath. So yeah, so that was what drew me to breath work. And so I was looking, and then I think
But
we
that's
said
really interesting because you're saying what drew you is that what you were noticing in your clients, not personally in yourself. So it wasn't something you were looking for yourself,
yeah,
but just to understand it better because of what you're seeing in your work and the people that you're
yes,
supporting. That's
yeah,
really interesting.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And you could see like people, that people come in with a certain, like their body position, the way they might stoop. Um, so yeah, there was just something there working within the body, and we know that mind and body are not separate; that they're connected. So
Mm,
yeah, it was very much there's just something there. So I was drawn to it, and like you say, it wasn't really for myself at that time. So yeah, so I started searching and got out a spreadsheet, and then it was the EasyJet magazine that I read on a flight to Geneva. And I read about a gentleman, a journalist who'd gone to Lanzarote with the breath guru, Alan Dolan, and
Yeah.
had a transformational week. And they felt that they'd dealt with some very deep early teenage stuff that they kind of managed to get to, and they come out of this week, and it was almost, it felt, when I was reading it, it felt almost like they were describing an almost spiritual experience. And they just said it
Oh.
was transformational, and I was like, what is this? You know, I've done counseling, had antidepressants, I'm a therapist. Never heard of anything like this. It wasn't out there. It wasn't really well known. So I ripped the paper out. I brought it back with me to the UK, and yeah, it talked about transformational breath. So I looked up Mr. Dolan. Unfortunately, I couldn't afford his fee to go out there. I mean, it would have been nice, but being a working mum at that time, I didn't have the resources for that. But I found out that he'd been trained in transformational breath. It was on his website. So that's what then drew me into transformational breath. And yeah, I went back in 2000 and maybe 11 or 12, somewhere around that, and I had my first transformational breath experience.
Wow. So I have to say, there's like half the people I have spoken to on here first found breathwork through Alan Dolan.
Mm,
That's amazing. I'm going to have to get him on at some point.
mm.
But when you say your first transformational breath experience, was that a workshop, a one-to-one session? Was it a seminar? Did you go straight in for seminar? Or was it
I
a work?
did.
Oh,
I
you
did.
did you?
Yeah, so basically the seminars back then were being offered over weekends. So it was like a level 1 weekend. It was a 2-day
Mhm,
workshop that I kind of signed up for, which is the equivalent of level 1, as you'll know.
mhm,
And so Saturday, Sunday, which made it very accessible for me
mhm.
because I was working full time. And I went, and yeah, it completely blew my socks off. It was like, what happened then?
Yeah, literally, that's what it feels. Oh, what? How? What?
What
So,
was what was that? You know, what were those people doing? Or am I in a cult? Have they given me something? You know, it was just really. And then I kind of, and I think because I'd done quite a lot of hypnotherapy, I just slipped into it. So unconsciously, it was very easy for me to follow the instructions and to breathe in this connected circular way. But I didn't realize the effect that that would have. And my whole body started to vibrate. I was buzzing. It was just incredible. And I just soaked up that weekend. It was like,
wow.
and that weekend just changed my life. When I came out, there's something absolutely magical here. I want to follow this all the way through to wherever it takes me.
Mm. And that's really, really powerful that you just experienced it. Firstly, that you signed up for the seminar in one go, because not everyone does that. Some people want to just try it out or workshop first, but you signed up for the seminar, even if it was weekends. But the experience you had, can you break it down any more as to what you experienced? Was it over like emotional? Was it that you felt a connection to something? Or did you find some stillness? Was it anything in particular? There might not be, Sarah, but
Yeah.
was there anything in particular that you were like, oh, I've never felt this before, or this is what I've been looking for? Or
I think it was all over the place. I think it was
yeah.
kind of, it felt like some very deep, almost pre-verbal, trauma that was kind of being released, things that I couldn't necessarily identify as being, well, that is. So I didn't really have full conscious awareness about what was happening. I felt
Mm.
incredibly lifted after the sessions. And having been on antidepressants before, I really felt a huge shift in my body, a lot of clarity around certain things. I felt at peace. I mean, it was just I just got everything, you know, within that first weekend. I just in so many different strands, and I didn't really unpack it over time. I guess I'm still unpacking it now, 10 years later, really, because we don't fully know really what is happening.
Mm.
And I mean, the beautiful thing is the facilitator's just so skilled, and it's like they've seen it all before, and they host such beautiful space, and it was, you know, you felt safe.
Mm.
And it was
Huge.
so, and it was okay, and they encouraged you to just, you know, allow whatever was emotion was coming up. For me, it was just, you know, tears from nowhere. Where are these tears coming from? It was kind of, but they just free flowed, and I just felt amazing after. And so,
Yeah.
actually, just to say, I'd only signed up for that one weekend at that
Okay.
point, so because I didn't know whether I was going to continue, and it
Mm.
was just, you know, but I knew that I had to just stay with it and learn a lot more about this.
Okay, so you were just trying it out for the weekend, and
Mm,
then you're like, "Yeah, I'm going all the way with this."
mm,
And,
mm.
and it is like what you're describing there. It was working on such an unconscious level for you because
Yeah.
you said you would get deep straight away, and it was clearing. And you know the emotions that you talk about, the tears that were flowing. Like we don't need to explain them. We don't
No.
need to know where they're coming from and go, "Oh, this is related to that." It's
Mm.
just the healing that's
It was
happening.
just
And
a huge,
mm,
huge healing, and yeah, I'm just feeling great afterwards, you know, and a little bit. I felt that my body slowed down as well. You know, that kind of coming out of those weekends, I was just a bit more present in the now, and I could understand my thoughts. I could understand. I just understood myself better.
yeah. Yeah, and that's huge because
Mm,
one of the things that I guess that most people, well, definitely struggled with it in the past, and even today, these days, sometimes it's like, who am I? Like, do I really know who I am and
mm,
what I want? And am I grounded? And am I clear in my direction? So to say that you can get to know yourself
absolutely.
and
Yeah.
through the breath is so powerful, so
Mm,
powerful. So on the breathwork journey, then on the training journey, now we know very well the transformational breath, how in depth the training is, and
mm,
what the journey it takes you on to
mm,
go inward, because you have to do your own work before you can
mm.
support others. So what would you say during that process, breath and transformational breath helped you with the most? Was there anything in particular the most, or how has it changed your life? Is there anything that you would say that you do now that you didn't before, or you didn't do before, and or you didn't? Yeah.
It helped me to get to a better place in life,
Mm,
ultimately, and that just started with just better self-care,
mm,
learning how to sleep properly at night. So that was,
mm,
you know, I used to take sleeping pills. I haven't taken a sleeping pill in, I can't remember how long. I just, the thought of it now actually is just, it feels so alien to me,
mm.
that actually,
Yeah. Oh, are
yeah,
you
yeah,
there?
yeah. Yeah, so it just felt so, so it started with better sleep. It started with the realization that actually this is such a wonderful process, and by healing my, by even having that intention to continue further and train as a facilitator, because helping others ultimately heals us. It heals us, heals ourselves, doesn't it? Really, that's what
Mm,
I find as part of this process. Is it's beautiful work. It's deep. It's healing, and yeah, I just haven't found anything that kind of gets to the root of all this unconscious stuff so effectively, in such a beautiful, safe way.
yeah. And that's it, because you don't have to talk about it, you don't have to think about it, you don't have to know what it is.
Mm,
Yeah,
mm,
that's really,
yeah.
really powerful. So, having completed the training, and how long is it that you've been practicing or working as a breathwork facilitator now, Sarah? Because it was
So
definitely way before I certified.
yeah, probably around, well, in 2015 I'd completed my level 5. So I
Okay.
think I was working as a facilitator, and well, probably more so as a hypnotherapist, because people understand that modality more than they do breath work. I think things are changing now.
Yeah, for sure.
So it would be like clients would come to me and like, oh, let me breathe you. Let me teach you about this wonderful technique. Let me share transformational breath with you. And I'm like, no, I breathe already. You know, there's nothing wrong with my breathing. And it's kind of, it's not like that. It's really, yeah, so I kind of did the training alongside my hypnotherapy
Hmm.
when I already had this existing practice. I didn't really know where it was going to take me, but I just knew early on that more people um, needed to have access to this tool.
Yeah.
You know, it needed to become a bit more well known, a bit more out there, and so that was really what I decided to do. Yeah, sort of kind of took a little bit of a tangent off to train
Yeah.
uh, and,
Yeah.
and to take it through. And it wasn't just doing the training; it was then setting up the Big Breath company with Elif. You know, kind of
Yeah.
getting established, and because this is group work, you know, the
Yeah.
breath work, it requires a team. And yeah, it's been amazing to be part of that since I think we opened our business in 2014. So now
Mm.
we are here we are coming up nearly to our 10th year, and we've been doing it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, Elif is amazing as well. We had Elif on the series last year. Was it the year before? It's been a while since I did it. But tell us, Sarah, then how you work with people. So individually and as a big breath company, how do you work with people? Who do you work with? And what kind of support do you offer?
Yeah, I guess I'm called to working with women with fertility related issues because that was something that happened. That was kind of what brought me to counselling in the first place. That was kind of the point in my life where I need some help. And because one of the things then that happened for me after that, which we'll call now trauma, I didn't know at the time, with
Mm.
I was only 30, is I never conceived again. I never fell pregnant again. And I realised there was an unresolved trauma there with both my pregnancy and with the stillbirth of my daughter that had kind of, I guess, shot me down from a fertility perspective.
Yeah. Wow.
And so my diagnosis would have been one of secondary infertility because I'd had a child. That was my second pregnancy. And so that's very much what I'm drawn to work with, and to work with women who are struggling to conceive for whatever reason. Maybe it's their first time, or maybe it's even their second time, because what you find then is there's something there, you know, something there that they've experienced. And what I find now is it's not just really around fertility; it can also be women's health later on in their life. So we can think of things like endometritis, polycystic ovary syndrome. All these are related to the pelvic area of a woman's body. And one of the things I notice is women who have these issues are not breathing using their diaphragm fully. And so there's a big correlation between breath work and physical well-being in these parts. And it's not just for women, it's also for men as well, because you know, there's lots of issues there. But I am drawn to work with women with those issues, really.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really, really powerful. And I know you've told me stories in the past of where you have worked with people who have then managed to conceive and have healthy
Absolutely.
pregnancies and everything, you know, your little breath babies. It's incredible. So really, really powerful work. So that's what you do. Is that one to one? You work with people?
Yeah, so that's one to one what I do with people. But the main bulk of my work is working with in the Big Breath Company,
Mm.
running workshops, running the seminars, and you know, this year we're doing some professional facilitator training as well.
Yeah. You are. You've been doing loads of that, and I've loved
Yeah.
supporting you in the last couple of years
Yeah,
as
you've
well,
been
Sarah.
absolutely wonderful. Yes, thank you,
Yeah.
Jessica, for all your support, and because you know it's teamwork, and we need support when we're working with people doing this. So yes, so it's kind of this has been what we've been doing now since back since 2014, and all these lovely, wonderful facilitators have then gone off, and like ripples in a pond, they're just doing such magical work in their field and helping. Either with children or working in trauma, just so many different aspects of it. Helping people just feel better and live, feel more complete in their lives.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really powerful. I mean, the work that you do individually and with Elif in the Big Breath Company, it's really inspiring because, like you said, it's not just the workshops that you can do, which are, for a few hours a workshop, people come to breathe and leave. But the seminars where people can go deeper into their healing journey and then experience transformation, and then the professional training. I think that's really powerful because, like you said, it's the ripple effect. People are having these experiences and they want to learn, and it's really important to make sure that people are getting the correct level of training. So you're facilitating that, you're providing that, you're sharing that, which I think is a real gift. So thank you. And if people were interested in working with you, Sarah, individually, or finding out more about the trainings that you're running, how can they get in contact with you and where can they find more information?
Yeah, so basically just via the Big Breath Company, that's the easiest thing, kind of to portal to kind of reach out, have a look, come to one of our workshops. We've got one in April. They can also contact me individually via the fertility therapist website as well, if they're drawn to more private one-to-one work. So kind of out there, just quite active, working with people. So yeah, just reach out, or even if you're in a different part of the world and something's resonating with someone out there and they feel that they're struggling with some of these issues, look up on the Transformational Breath website and see if you can find a facilitator local to you, and just go and have an experience, really just open your mind to working with the unconscious in such a way which, even if you only do it once, you're going to learn so much about yourself.
Yeah, so just to give it a try, because I was going to ask, what would you say to anyone who's maybe thinking about it but not sure, and wondering if they should take the step?
Do it, do it, do it, do it, do
Do
it.
it, do it, do it. And just when you mentioned there about, we didn't confirm where you're based. You're based in London, so you work
Yes,
around
I'm
London.
in London, so yeah, that's kind of where I am at the moment, and
Do you work online? Do you offer things online?
I do. I offer things online. I work with some ladies abroad, with some ladies in different parts of the world who've kind of found me, but mostly in person, and that's my love, kind of getting to know an individual, face to face, and working with them, in person. Yeah.
Beautiful. Oh, I'm losing you a little bit, Sarah. It's gone a little bit slow-mo, but hopefully you can still hear me. Just wanted to say that's been amazing. I really thank you so much for giving us your time, sharing your journey with breath. It's been powerful to hear from where you were to the journey you went on, and to get to where you are now, not just sharing the gift of breath, but teaching people how to teach others. So thank you for giving us your time. I'm going to share all of your contact details that you shared, all your Instagram tags for fertility therapists, Big Breath Company. I'll share them in the post. But to anyone watching, please reach out to Sarah directly. Follow her account and the Big Breath Company. They do wonderful trainings. They do wonderful workshops. I've loved working with you. And continue to work with you if you need me. I'm always around and willing to help.
Thank you, Jess.
And
Beautiful
yeah,
space,
and
and
thank you. Hopefully, there's people out there that will really connect with your experience and know that, it's okay to ask for help and just take your own time to go on this journey. See where it takes you.
yeah, just trust your breath, and that's the thing. It's your own self healing process, so you're in charge of it. And this is what I love about breath work, and more now the science is coming out about validating how powerful this work is, really. And it's so just everybody just give it a go.
And it really, really is, Sarah. So thank you for highlighting that. Now, breathwork is just booming. It's, people are really realizing how powerful it is. So
Mm.
even if you're a little bit curious, there's
Mm.
plenty of powerful facilitators out there.
Yes.
Just, whoever you connect with, whoever you feel drawn to, reach out.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Thank you so much.
You
I'm
so
going to leave you to your evening, get back to your dogs, who I didn't hear at all after we got started.
Oh, didn't you? Yeah, I just kicked them out of the room. So they were squeaking. They brought in all the noisiest toys in the whole house. Just the minute they kind of sense it. I'm going live, and let's cause some chaos.
Oh, that's so funny. I could hear the squeaking to start, but we got
Yeah,
there in the end. Thank
yeah,
you so much. I'll be sharing this and tagging you. If
beautiful.
anyone has any questions, please comment below and also reach out to Sarah directly. Thank you so much.
Thank
And I
you.
hope I get to see you soon, Sarah.
Yeah, lots of love, Jessie. Thank you so much as well. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Okay.